All right, if you're watching this video, it means that you are working with me to solve these two-step word problems. We're on page 233 in our workbook. So we're gonna just jump right in. Gabe has 68 building blocks. He gets 27 more building blocks. Then he uses 73 blocks to make a barn. How many building blocks does Gabe have left? To find this out, we're going to look at our first sentence. Gabe has 68 building blocks, and he gets 27 more. So we need to figure out our total, right? If we start with 68 and we get 27 more, what's our total? So this right here is going to be our step 1. I'm going to put a 1 next to it because it's our step 1. We have 68, and if we put two numbers together, it's going to go 68 plus 27. We're going to get our big number, right? So I'm going to go ahead and write my 68 plus 27. What is 8 plus 7? Lock in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we have 6 plus 2 equals 8 plus 9 equals, or plus 1 equals 9. So we added up all of our 10s and got 9. So now we have a total of 95 blocks. So we finally know how many he starts with. He has 68, then he uses 27 more, he gets a total of 95. Then he uses 73 building blocks to make a barn. How many does he have left? When I look at the words, how many does he have left? That means that I'm looking at a small number. So remember, I have my large number. My 95 is what I'm going to start with, because if I start with 95, or I start with the total, and I take some away from that total. Remember, we just found our total, and now we're taking away 73. So if I take away 73, I have to set it up this way. Because remember, if I put my numbers side by side, that means that I'm adding them to get a bigger number. If I set it up this way, it means that I have to subtract these two numbers. So 95 minus 73. I'm going to look at my ones. More on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow some more. I have more up top, so I don't stop. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. 9 minus 7 equals 2. And my final answer I'm going to put right here. And I have 22 building blocks left. All right, if you need to pause or go back, do so now. I'm going to move on. All right, we have a couple questions and then we're going to call it good, friends. So, our next question says, Amy finds 45 leaves. Nell finds 23 fewer leaves than Amy. How many leaves do they find in all? Complete the equations for each step. So, our first one says Amy finds 45 leaves, right? There's our 45. It's asking us, are we adding or subtracting? And then it says Nell finds 23 fewer leaves than Amy. It doesn't say Nell found 23 leaves. It says Nell found 23 fewer leaves. So I have to find the difference between the two. If I find the difference, I am subtracting. So I have to make my subtraction symbol right there. So 45 minus 23. I'm going to go ahead and put that off to the side. 45 minus 23. More up top. Don't stop. More on the floor. Go next door and borrow some more. 5 is greater than 3, so I have more up top, so I don't stop. 5 minus 3 equals 2. 4 minus 2 equals 2. So I have 22. So now I finally found out how many Nell had, right? It told us right from the get-go, Amy had 45. It says Nell finds 23 fewer leaves. It doesn't say that she found 23 leaves. It says that she found 23 fewer leaves. So I had to subtract 23 to find out how many Nell had. Now that I have how many Nell had, I have to find out how many they have all together. Amy had 45. We just found out that Nell had 22, so I'm going to put my 22 there. And I'm going to add those two numbers together to get my overall number. So 5 plus 2 equals what? 7. 4 plus 2 equals 6. So they found a total of 67 leaves in all. If you need to go back to kind of see where we got our numbers from, feel free to do so now or pause it. I'm going to go on to number 3. So it says there are 38 students on the bus. Then 16 more students get on the bus. At the first stop, 19 students get off the bus. How many students are on the bus now? I have to figure out how many people are on the bus to begin with. It says there are 38 students on the bus. Okay. Then 16 more get on the bus. There's our first problem. 38 were on the bus and 16 more. So what are we going to do to those two numbers? We have to find the total. If we have 38 and then we add some more, we're going to find our total. So we have 38 plus 16, and that's going to equal our total. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. 38 plus 16. I'm going to add my ones first. So 8 plus 6, I'm going to lock in 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have my 4 there. I have to carry that 1 up. And I have 1 plus 3 equals 4 plus 1 equals 5. So I have a total of 54 people on the bus, right? 54 people are on the bus now. Whew! We have our first step right here. Step number 1. Then it says at the first bus stop, 19 students get off the bus. So if we have a total amount of students, we just found that, right? 54 is our total amount. So I'm going to write 54 right here because we have our total amount. We have to get rid of 19 students. So when we get rid of students, we're going to put it in this box. Remember, when two boxes are by each other, that shows that we're adding. When we set it up like this, where we have our mystery number, that means that we're going to subtract these two. So I have 54, I'm taking my larger number, minus my smaller number, and I have to subtract. I'm going to start with my ones, more up top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow some more. So I'm going to go next door. My 5 becomes a 4 because I'm taking a 10 away. I'm moving it over here. I'm going to go ahead and count up from 9 to get to 14. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It took me 5 jumps to get to 14. And then 4 minus 1 equals 3. So how many students are on the bus? I have 35 students. 35 students. Remember, if you need to pause or go back, please feel free to do so. We have one more problem and we are going to call it good today. Alrighty. Mr. King has 75 copies of the parent letter. He gives 27 letters to Mrs. Ruiz for her class to take home. Then he gives 25 letters to Mr. Allen for his class to take home. Are there enough letters left for the 25 children in Mrs. Park's class? Explain. This one's tricky, friends. So we're going to start with our first sentence. Mr. King has 75 copies of the parent letter, right? He has 75. 75 of them. He gives 27 of them to Mrs. Ruiz. So we're going to get rid of 27, right? This is our first step. He had 75 and he said he gives 27 to Mrs. Ruiz. So 27 of them are going bye-bye. So we have to subtract. I'm going to start with my ones. More up top. Don't stop. More on the floor. Go next door and borrow some more. So I have more on the floor. So I have to go next door. So I'm going to take one away from 7 and it makes that a 6. This becomes a 15 because I'm moving a 10 over. I'm going to count up from 7 to get to 15. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 8, and then 6 minus 2 equals 4. Okay, I have a total again. After he gives letters to Miss Ruiz, her class, he has 48 left. He says then he gives 25 letters to Mr. Allen. So once again, he's giving some away. So we started with 48. So that's what I'm going to start with. 48. He gives 25 away. So I'm going to give 25 away. Do I have more up top or more on the floor? More up top, so I don't stop. 8 minus 5 equals 3. 4 minus 2 equals 2. So I have 23 letters left. But that's not the question it asked me. The question it asked me, it says, are there enough letters left for the 25 children in Mrs. Park's class? So we have 23, so are there enough for 25 kids? No. There is only 23 left. Oh my goodness, I cannot do grammar today. There are only 23 left. So we had to go through both of these steps to find out if we had enough letters for Mrs. Park's class that has 25 kids. There's only 23 letters and 25 kids. We don't have enough. Go ahead and take a picture of this and submit it, and you are done for the day for math.